Sangye Chedan Sangye Chonam Lan Chanjo Pardo Dane Japson Che Dage Jinso Gibe Sonam Dala Penjara Sangye Dubara Sho Sangye Chedan Sangye Chonam Lan Chanjo Pardo Dane Japson Dage Jinso Gibe Sonam Dala Penjara Sangye Dubara Sho Sangye Chedan Sangye Chonam Chanjo Pardo Dane Japson Che Dage Jinso Gibe Sonam Chola pension sangye dubara sho semjan tamjen dewa dan dewe gyodan dembara kyurchen dongala ke gyodan talora kyurchen dongala meben dewa dan medala vara kyurchen yeren sadan dan tala danyam la nebara kyurchen Sashin Bechu Chushin Medo Dhamma Rava Linshe Nide Gemban Sangye Shingdo Migde Pulwaye Droga Namda Shingdo Jogara Sho Namje Samba Dan Loye Cheda Cheda Wara Chidon Tumon Tewaye Chege Kolo Kodo So, first of all, I would like to say Tashit Dalek to all the viewers. And today I will give short teaching on the praise to Manjushri as I've been asked by the Trizin Kyabgon. So, first of all, whatever teachings or Dharma practice that we do, first and foremost, it is very important to develop the right motivation, which means to develop the thought of renunciation towards the whole samsara, and then to develop the infinite loving kindness, which means wishing all the sentient beings to gain happiness, and the cause of happiness, which is none other than doing virtuous deeds, and then to practice the infinite compassion, which means wishing all the sentient beings to be free from the suffering and the cause of suffering, which is doing the negative deeds. So based on these positive thoughts, then we need to develop the enlightenment mind, which means for the sake of all the sentient beings, we wish to attain Buddhahood, and for that purpose, we are engaging in the Dharma practice in general, and especially this time we are engaging in this particular teaching. So with the right motivation, we should study this teaching. And since this teaching is about Manjushri, first I will explain a little bit about Manjushri himself. Actually, the praise to Manjushri is also about Manjushri, but before that, I would like to say Manjushri is considered as the embodiment of all the Buddha's wisdom, and also we also considered Manjushri is the father of all the Buddhas, and also in reality Manjushri is none other than Buddha. In reality, he is not just a noble bodhisattva, but he is real Buddha. But for the eyes of common people, he appeared as Bodhisattva, or he remained as a noble Bodhisattva, one of the noble Bodhisattva. So in our teaching, it says just by remembering Manjushri or just by recalling Manjushri, it has great benefits. It is very meritorious. So Manjushri is very, very important. It's a wisdom deity. And generally, to study, we need wisdom, and without wisdom, it is not possible to gain any worldly or dharmic knowledge. So therefore, wisdom in general is very important. And also there are different kinds of wisdom, like mundane wisdom and super mundane wisdom. Generally, in many different texts written by many great Indian masters or many great Nalanda masters like Shandideva and Aryadeva and Vasubandhu and many others, they have clearly mentioned that wisdom is very, very important. Without the wisdom, we cannot gain the knowledge. So wisdom is like the eye to see the road. And without the eye to see the path, we cannot move forward on the path, on the Buddhist path. So this one is referring to the perfection of wisdom or the dharmic wisdom. In general also, to know something, we need to have our wisdom. Through wisdom, we can gain knowledge, and then we will know what is to be adopted and what is to be abandoned. So therefore, wisdom in general is very, very important. In our world, in the past or in the present or in the future, all the scholars has knowledge due to their own wisdom. So without wisdom, it is not possible to become a scholar or to gain great knowledge. So wisdom is very important. And especially the history of this place is that in ancient time, in the noble land of India, as you know, there's a great Nalanda University, which is about 2 hours drive from Bodh Gaya nowadays. At the moment, we can still see the ruin of the Nalanda University. And in Nalanda University, at that time, they have planned to inaugurate a Manjushri temple. So the day before that, the abbot asked 500 candidates to compose a Manjushri praise. So then these 500 candidates, they returned to their own rooms or their own place and composed their own praise to Manjushri without discussing to each other. They then self-compose their own praise to Manjushri. And then later, they all show to the abbot or to the Kempo or the abbot. And then when abbot see this, then he realized that all the 500 Panditas praise are exactly the same, not only the meaning, but also the words. So both words and meaning are exactly the same, just like it was written by one person, not by 500 Panditas. So then Kempo or the abbot realized that this is truly blessed by Manjushri himself. Otherwise, it is not possible to have exactly the same word and meaning which is written by 500 different Panditas by their own without discussing to each other. So therefore, we strongly believe, as Kambalas believe, that this is really blessed by great Ayya Manjushri himself. So generally, there are many different praises to Manjushri in the past, and also in the present also many people do compose different praise to Manjushri, but this praise called Gongma is a special one, the most holy one, because this is directly blessed by Manjushri himself. So this praise is very popular in the Tibetan Buddhist traditions. All the different Tibetan Buddhist schools recite this praise. So this is not only recited by one of the Tibetan Buddhist schools, but all the Tibetan Buddhist schools recite this praise called Manjushri, praise Gongma. So this is a special praise to Manjushri, and today I will try my best to explain this by using my own limited English. So this praise has 8 long lines, and these 8 long lines can be divided into like 4 divisions or 4 categories. First one is praise to Manjushri's wisdom of the mind. Second is praising Manjushri's speech. Third, praising to Manjushri's body. And fourth is like the summary of praising Manjushri's body, speech, and mind, and then subjugating to the Manjushri. So first, praising to Manjushri's mind or wisdom. This also has 2 subdivisions. First one is praising to Manjushri's knowledge, and the second one is praising to Manjushri's compassion. So first, praising to Manjushri knowledge. In Tibetan word, the first two lines, Kange Loto, Dimye, Dental, Nitara, Namta, Rapsalwe, Chinge, Tengun, Cheshin, Sixty, Niki, Tokara, Lapamden. These two lines, the first two lines, is praising to Manjushri's knowledge. So, Kanki Lodi means whose wisdom refers to Manjushri wisdom, and Manjushri's wisdom is wisdom that has defeated all the obscuration or the two obscurations permanently. True obscuration means the obscuration of mental affliction and the obscuration of knowledge. So, whose wisdom refers to Manjushri wisdom that has defeated all the obscurations or the two obscurations completely, permanently. And how Manjushri's wisdom defeated or destroyed these obscuration is explained through example. It says it's like a sun which is free from the obscuration of cloud. In the sky, when there's a sunshine without any fog or mist of clouds, then sun is very shiny, very bright, very radiant, and such sunshine has no obscuration. So therefore, such sunshine can illuminate all the places and can remove all the darkness and can illuminate all the places and can cover all the places with light. So similarly, Manjushri's wisdom is like a sun which does not have any obscurations. In the example, obscuration refers to the cloud, but in the meaning, obscuration means obscuration of knowledge and obscuration of mental afflictions. So Manjushri's wisdom is free from all these obscurations. And therefore, Manjushri wisdom is very pure because it does not have any obscurations, it does not have any impurities. It is very pure. And Manjushri's wisdom can know all the phenomena or can realize all the phenomena or can cover all the phenomena without any obscurations. So therefore, the light of Manjushri's wisdom is very bright, or the sun of wisdom, sun of Manjushri's wisdom is very bright, pure and bright. Pure because it is free from obscuration. So therefore it's very pure, and it is very bright because it covers all the phenomena, or it knows all the phenomena, or it is the omniscient wisdom. So therefore it is very bright. And now the next line, or the second line, explains how this pure and perfect wisdom, or the enlightened wisdom, can see the phenomena or can see the objects. So actually, from ordinary objects up to enlightened being, this wisdom can realize all these with great details, like what is the nature of it, what is the characteristic of it, etc. So it knows all the details, all the subtle things in great details. And also this wisdom directly can see the ultimate view without any thoughts or clinging thoughts, can see the ultimate view directly without any obscuration. And in the praise it says, at heart holds the text, which refers to the Prajna Paramita text, the perfection of wisdom text. At heart, I think literally it means like this, but actually it means at heart, Manjushri holds the left hand of Manjushri holds the stem of the flower, and actual flower blossoms at the level of his left ear. And on the flower, there's this Prajna Paramita text. And the reason why Manjushri is holding this Prajna Paramita text is because this is to symbolize that Manjushri knows all the phenomena, all the objects, or Manjushri's wisdom is omniscient. So to symbolize this, or to symbolize Manjushri possess such omniscient wisdom, so to symbolize this, Manjushri is holding the Prajna Paramita text. So with these two lines, it explains about praising to Manjushri's knowledge. Now the second part of praising to Manjushri's mind of wisdom is to praise his compassion. So his compassion, praise to his compassion is the third line and the half of the fourth line. So 1.5 line is a praise to Manjushri's compassion. So those who are separated from the genuine and ultimate happiness, those who don't have the genuine happiness, or those who don't have the ultimate happiness, are the sentient beings. So those sentient beings who are in the prison of samsara, from the highest part of the samsara up to from the lowest part of samsara up to the highest part of samsara, all are in the prison of samsara, because they are not beyond samsara. And not only they are in the prison of samsara, but inside this prison of samsara, due to their own or due to our own selfish thought and self-cherishing thought, our body, speech, and mind are completely enshrouded by the dense of ignorance, by the gross ignorance. And due to this, we, the ordinary sentient beings, are tormented or excruciated by the sufferings. So to such beings, or to the sentient beings, Manjushri extend his great compassion without any discrimination. Manjushri does not have far and near ones. Manjushri treats all the sentient beings equally, without any discrimination or without any exception. And to all the sentient beings, Manjushri has great compassion. To explain this through example is that a mother who has only child, then this mother has special love and compassion or affection towards her one and only child. So similarly, Manjushri has such love, affection, and compassion towards all the sentient beings who are tormented by the sufferings without any discrimination. And Manjushri has a strong compassion in order to rescue all the sentient beings from the suffering. So Manjushri has great compassion, limitless compassion, because object of his compassion is not limited. It covers all the sentient beings without any exception. And that also, he has the highest level of compassion towards all the sentient beings. So Manjushri has such ultimate compassion towards all the sentient beings. So this one, in the actual praise, is, as I said before, third line and the half line of the fourth. So it means Kanda Sibetara Mari Mintum Dongal Kiserve, Dotokula Puchitarte. Up to here is the praise to Manjushri's compassion. Now, the second main division is praise to Manjushri's speech. This one is the remaining fourth line, Yala Toji Yandan Song, and then the fifth line, Dudar Chato Nyamo Nilong Lege Chato Toltejing, and then also this sixth line, Mari Metal Dungal Nyugo Chinge Chete Raldinam. So half of the fourth line and fifth and sixth line is a praise to Manjushri's speech. As mentioned earlier, Manjushri has great compassion, And out of this, or motivated by great compassion, Manjushri placing all the sentient beings on the state of enlightenment, or on the state, or on the state same as his own state. So for this, Manjushri's single voice or single speech can explain or can show what is to be adopted and what is to be abandoned. And that also, his speech has 60 melodious tones. So his enlightened speech is endowed with 60 melodious tones, just like Buddha's speech, which has the 60 melodious tones. And what is the activity of this speech? Then to explain this with example. So, for example, in the sky, sometimes, or from the sky, sometimes we can hear the roaring of dragon, thundering roar of a dragon. So when we hear this, even we are sleeping, it will wake us up from sleeping, because it has very loud sound. So the roar of dragon has the ability to wake sentient beings from sleeping. So similarly, Manjushri's speech is like a roar of dragon. Roar of dragon can wake us up from the sleeping. Similarly, the roar of Manjushri speech can wake us up from the sleep of ignorance. Because Manjushri's speech explains the Dharma, the 84,000 Dharma or the Dharma, with high volume to the ears of followers or the sentient beings. And due to this, it wakes us up, or it wakes the sentient beings from the deep sleep of ignorance. And not only from the ignorance, but also it liberates us or free us from the tight chain of karma that bind us in the samsara, that bind us in the samsara. So Manjushri's speech has the ability to wake us up from this dense or deep sleep of ignorance, and also to liberate us from the tight chain of karma. And also it has the ability to place us sentient beings on the state of liberation and the enlightenment state. And at the right side of the Manjushri, Manjushri holds the sword. And this sword is a wisdom sword, which is in the nature of all the Buddha's knowledge. And this also has symbolic meaning. As mentioned earlier, due to Manjushri's infinite knowledge and infinite compassion, Manjushri used his powerful speech, and that speech or this speech removes the darkness of ignorance that obscures the sentient beings to see the reality. So here, ignorance refers to selfish thought and the self-cherishing thought. So Manjushri's speech removes this kind of darkness, and also it cuts the sprout of suffering which is caused by the ignorance. Actually, normally we say due to ignorance, then we experience suffering. We commit negative action and experience suffering, such as suffering of birth, old age, sickness, death, and other kinds of sufferings. So here, through the power of Manjushri speech, it cuts or it removes the suffering, the darkness of ignorance, and also cuts the suffering. So to symbolize this, Manjushri is holding the sword, the wisdom sword. So wisdom sword that cuts the suffering and its cause, which is the ignorance. So therefore, Manjushri is holding the wisdom sword in his right hand. Now, the third main division is praise to Manjushri's body, which is the seventh line. And the half of the eighth line, So up to here is praise to Manjushri's body. So in reality, Manjushri is pure from the very beginning, which means countless eons before, Manjushri has already purified both the obscuration of knowledge and the obscuration of mental afflictions completely. And not only that, Manjushri has already passed the 10 bhumi and already attained the Buddhahood, which has the infinite qualities. So in short, it means in reality, Manjushri is real Buddha, real enlightened being, and not a bodhisattva. Then the last part of the seventh line says, which means in the eyes of common people, he appeared as the main bodhisattva, the principle of all the bodhisattva, or the main bodhisattva, appeared as a main bodhisattva, not as Buddha. So last line says he appears as a main bodhisattva, or he is main bodhisattva, which means for the eyes of common people, he appeared as a main bodhisattva. But in reality, he has already attained Buddhahood countless eons before he appeared as Manjushri to us, the followers. And not only appear as Bodhisattva, but also acting as a Bodhisattva. So not only in the Tantra, but also in the Sutra. So in both Sutra and Tantra, it clearly says that in reality, Manjushri is the real enlightened being, real Buddha. But for the eyes of common people, he appeared as Bodhisattva, as a main Bodhisattva. And then the first part of the 8th line, which says, his body is adorned by 112. So 112 refers to 112 marks of enlightened being or Buddha. So 112 means 32 signs and 80 qualities of the Buddha, because 32 plus 80 becomes 112. So it means Manjushri's body is adorned by the 32 signs and 80 qualities, or the 112 marks of the Buddha. So up to here, the 7th line and the first part of the 8th line is praise to Manjushri's body. Then the remaining of the 8th line is like the summary of praising to Manjushri's body, speech, and mind, and then also doing subjugation or doing or paying respect to the Manjushri. So it says, thus Manjushri has such a great quality of body, speech, and mind or wisdom, and also Manjushri has great activities and great qualities. So such perfect enlightened being or perfect being can remove the darkness of ignorance of the general sentient beings, and especially our own darkness of ignorance. So such a powerful, perfect being, one is paying respect with, or one is bowing down with great respect, or get great respect through body, speech, and mind. One is bowing down, and I think indirectly it shows not only bowing down, but indirectly it also shows one is wholeheartedly or sincerely praying and supplicating to Manjushri, the embodiment of all the Buddha's wisdom. So with this, I have explained roughly on this 8-line praise to Manjushri. And whoever recite this holy praise or this special and unique praise, then one can gain knowledge. Whoever recite this praise like many times, then one will definitely one can definitely gain wisdom and knowledge. So anyway, as I said before, this praise is directly blessed by Manjushri himself. So from our side, with great motivation and with sincere faith and devotion, if we recite this every day, especially in the morning time, then definitely we can receive Manjushri blessing in our mental continuum, and through this we can gain knowledge and we can gain wisdom, and through this knowledge and wisdom we can understand the meaning of Dharma in a proper way without any misunderstanding. And by having this knowledge, then we should practice it according to the knowledge or according to the teaching. And by practicing it, then we can gain the experience or the realizations. And by continuing our practice, our realization or our experience will grow, and eventually we can gain liberation from the whole samsara, and then later we can really attain Buddhahood for the sake of all the sentient beings without any exception. So with this, I will conclude my short teaching on Manjushri's praise called Gongma. Then at the end, we should always dedicate all our merits to attain Buddhahood. All our merits means today's merits along with all the merits to attain Buddhahood for the sake of all the sentient beings. And especially we should dedicate all our merits for our root gurus, long life, good health, and done the will of Dharma, far and wide, always. Thank you. So now, with this in mind, we will do the dedication prayer and long life prayers together. Sanam Diyan Tamje Sikwa Nyam Tamne Nyebe Danam Pamje Kego No Chiam Balon Tubai Sibe Tolen Doan Dolwara Isho Jambalam Bawe Chedara Kemba Tan Gondo Sambo Tayan Tishend Teda Pinke Jeso Dalom Jin Gewa Deda Tamche Rabdo Tismo Shebe Gala Tamche Mawa Kala Chondo Ngawan Tage Gewe Tawa Degenja Sambo Jechira Rabdo Ngawarangi Chanjo Kyangwe Kyoban Chongkyoba Kedaba Ingante Yonso Kangwe Kangrian Chandra Demba Salsamba Saya Baye Demba Barikara Kanjan Pege Dewa Dolce Paldana Sake Chisi Keba Dolben Donge Ginche Mechen Quinjan Tinle Namga Nyambaraj Dove Lama Chanjalan Bente and Tena Wanjo Jezan Jambe Yalo Niba Baldena Sajab Temba Yere Neva Dashi. So now we will do the long line prayer. Baldan Sava Lama Rinpoche Dage Joro Beme Denshon Garden and Chamber Gone Jason Koson Toge Mondoban Toldo Solo Kangria Rave Korve Shinkama So Pandan Dewa Malin Jongren 现在三王真正叫做也下边是的跑动等交通去。前面没些送月可看那前面再见老毛见的毛前面他往外从那米的前面再我这个早都走了人生北面土给把老们呢看着那天老说你没了。 萨丹隆多别特来给的呢，都叫林些更多大等。那我就出了好的看见东，这个个子太真多了。看见把多把人听来讲，上边了往前脚步小的，走了那么多听的，这里个啥些了，他怎么讲？ 年前东马在骑着中单接单跑来民间交车的话不多再说假如你把接单空马年交单接单年的他妈先交了那么老些那么交了七千等着小单走了本座交了些定个这些把老跑的啥个确实把把 那种当年在北京多挣钱，上什么都这大的，做老罗面老毛，吃什么多这的，一他妈电商样子都懂当，前年什么有面等北，其他的所有的人都叫做钱，咱不能抱怨宝贝的钱错，养钱干面最多方便。 天边见到了生命憧憬的天真切见你妈做事，走了墙边包个在外看到了在，面面人家要的王不论这三个看到大东隔壁，不了南边去外做件做事。 切见广大南家青年做鲜花，两次么给了可罗莫了，吃了青年用着包的钱一些。 天天送上珍宝措施，做了多年老人妈咪给身边，南什么听见老别感动，叫对年这边有啥苦等过，那些多些确定出不了门，在这所路马拉要龙给，这边真蓬勃有我。 从年的在天天排班当归些的上穿个面包，走了跟着人家送个钱老当，搞着个位子当的来。 家里电灯怎么样？也不是说过头人生听得也就能这，那么光个嘛上了上了的，超多过头人了上了的们听得他先给了上了的们，那么着了没把它解决了。 过去的我心多等不当，等着你的心多少落当，念的那个得不住可把，这些得讲听的人都来说。